Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be taking down my aerial rig just in time for the snow that is coming next week. I will be showing you how we take it apart and how we know how to put it back together. Don't forget to subscribe. This is where she sits in my backyard. We started by taking off the ratchet straps and wrapping them up. We then carefully and with a lot of teamwork put the rig down on its front so we could take it apart. Here my dad noticed that I needed to repaint it before next year's season because a little bit of the paint got chipped off.
Thank you very much.
After we got the rig down, I started picking up the foot pads. These are pads that sit under the feet to prevent the rig from sinking into the ground or sitting in water way longer than it needs to. We then began taking out the hardware and putting it in a bag. We began with the long supports. The parts settle down into each other and it makes it hard for you to get them apart. We got the top part of the bottom support off and I'm holding it in place so Carter can take off the bottom hardware. And we got the first piece of the rig off of it and we're putting it in a pile. Here's a close-up of Carter taking off the hardware. We remove the nut first and then we remove the washers. We then push the bolt through with a punch and try to shake it loose because, as I said before, they do settle together and this makes it harder for us to get the hardware out from the rig. Now we have both of the bottom supports off of the rig and we move on to the small supports that are towards the top of the rig. Now that I could reach the hardware and a bunch of weight wasn't making the hardware settle together with the rig, Carter could loosen the hardware and I could take them off with my hands, and this process moved a lot quicker due to that.
So how we set it up is we had our bolt and then we had one regular washer that goes through the rig, and then we had a regular washer and then a locking washer, and then a nut at the end to secure it all.
After we got the small supports off, we moved on to the hardware where the leg and the top of the rig connect. We mainly took off the top hardware and loosened the bottom hardware because it's really hard to get that bottom hardware off of the bottom leg. Here we are lifting the legs out of the rig and setting them on the ground. I'm making sure that we know what leg goes to what part of the rig. We have a system that is marked on the rig, and I wanted to make sure that they were still very, very visible so that we could put it together next year. Here we are taking the second leg off and doing the same thing. And now we're working on the bottom legs. These are probably the biggest pain out of the whole rig. It's so hard to get these off. It's so hard to get the hardware off of them because there's so much weight on them and they're just so low to the ground, it's hard to make them accessible. We took the hardware out closest to the ground by lifting up the leg and making it more accessible and easier to get out. And we also had to pull them out by lifting the leg as well and holding the base.
Okay.
Good job.
Nice. I got it. I'm strong, girl.
And we finally have the whole entire rig apart, and all of the pieces are clearly marked.
Go put all the hardware in there before we lose it.
Yeah, good idea.
So we have this one labeled C. It goes in the bottom one right there. That also has a label. And then we have A right here, and it's labeled right here. Ooh, you can see that one. Okay, and then D goes here, and that has the label right here. That one's labeled B right there, and this one is B. So we know exactly where and how to put the rig together next year. And now we are carrying it to be put away.
Right over here, right?
Yeah, that's where he said. Big strong man.
Most of the legs are really, really surprisingly light, except for one of them, because one of them has two sleeved pieces of metal on them, and it makes it significantly heavier than the other legs. Here Carter is taking an extra workout. This one is the heaviest leg. It has the two sleeved bits. I don't know if you can see it or tell, but the part where Carter's shoulder is way longer than the other legs, and this makes it way heavier.
And the heaviest piece of all.
And now we're finally moving the base. The base is by far the heaviest part of the rig. She's also awkward to carry, and she's just massive.
We put those there so my dad can put them in the barn later. He told us to put them in there because he has to clear out some space in the barn for them. Here is the whole rig disassembled. We have our top brace, we have our 4 legs, and then we have our 2 bottom braces and our 2 top braces. All done. Good job, boo. And we are pulling the anchors that the ratchet straps are attached to. We kind of forgot about them.
We'd have found them with the mower next year.
No! Those things were hard to find in the first place. Do you remember all that? We went to like 3 stores to find those and everything. And
we kept finding like terrible plastic ones.
And they were like $40 for like a dog anchor at some place. So I was like, I'm not spending that. I know you can get them cheaper.
Where'd we finally find them?
Walmart.
We found them at
Walmart.
That's right.
Yeah, because we went to Menards and they had some that were really, really like crazy expensive.
Yeah, that's right. And they were
weirdly shaped.
They were like 3 feet long.
Yeah.
And we didn't need that.
And we went to Lowe's too and they had long ones.
Yeah, those were incredible. They were like, is this what you need? And I was like, I would never need that.
No. But yeah, we finally got them. Okay, so we have our anchors, our ratchet straps, our pads, we have our hardware, our tools, and that's the camera stuff on my phone. But that's not part of the rig. And we have my beautiful ladder and the rig. All done! Let's get inside and have some hot chocolate or something because it's cold.
Later in the week, we got the rig into the barn safe and sound just as the snow began. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And comment what else you would like to see.